All you realtors out there that have bought into you need leads to be a successful real estate agent, that is absolutely true. But if you don't know what to do with those leads, you're honestly just an employee to those leads. Those leads are your boss. So today we're going to talk about flipping the script and taking those leads from conversation to closing. There's another piece of my sphere of influence mindset that takes closing to lifelong relationships. We'll deal with that on another episode, but today we're going to really talk it and hone in on taking those leads and not wasting them and upping your success rate, so to speak, on those leads. If you are interested, I do have a free mini course in the comments and show notes below. Please check that out. It's absolutely free to you. It's all about diving into that sphere of influence and organizing, managing, and nurturing it. A few templates in there will help you really get started in the right direction. As you may know, Jeremy Kane with the Real Estate Agent Playbook, now on YouTube as always, and now newly on Apple Podcasts and everywhere you download those podcasts. So feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and as always, leave a review, a 5-star review on those podcast reviews. Really help me out and grow the show and help more agents win at the game of real estate every single day. Okay, so I've been really thinking about this lately as I've had a little more time as the market has slowed down a little bit. Business is still good, don't worry, things aren't falling off the rails or anything. But there's a lot of agents in the wolf pack that I talk to, whether they're in my downline or not, about all this great stuff, and they're doing all this great stuff to bring in leads. But as I kind of follow along and follow them on social media, either they're not posting or talking about their closings, or I know for a fact that they're not getting those leads to the closing table. So I got to thinking about this and what is missing in our repertoire as agents and our training and our coaching programs that's making people get all these leads and be so focused on these leads, but then dropping the ball when we talk about converting them into conversations and closings. So this is what I've kind of come up with. I think what is happening in these situations is people are relying on that pillar of business that I talk about to have that lead continue to consume their content and eventually pick up the phone and reach out. And, sometimes you can send DMs on certain social media platforms, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's public. So sometimes it's really hard for that lead to take that initiative to be like, hey, I'm buying a house. Call me, right? Because it's public knowledge. So people are struggling to do that. So that nurturing of that business is really hard in those social media platforms in the public eye. Now, if you do have the DM, feature on your chosen social media lead generator, that does help a little bit, but I still see people so focused on creating more content and just relying on that to close the deal. And I think that's where the disconnect really comes in. And as we talk about this, it's really, we got click funnels and we got all of this stuff, but it's really a lead funnel or whatever kind of funnel. And if you think about a lead funnel, it captures a lot and only a little bit trickle through. And, sure, that's super important. You want them to go down the race, but what about all these people that are leads that are falling out of the funnel at certain times because they don't click on that mini course, they don't click on the next thing? That's the kind of people that we can really help if we can pull them off of that pillar and put them into our sphere of influence and make them, consume our content across multiple channels of, text messages, emails, other social media channels, whatever that may be. We want to get them, those top of funnel that are maybe falling out and not getting all the way down because they fail to click on one button or they fail to go down that rabbit hole that we are expecting them to. We want to capture them. So instead of a funnel by nature only giving you a few deals, we want to see if we can take those leads and make it more of a vertical integration and capture all of the leads, or as many as we possibly can. Now, there are faulty leads, I get it, but we're going to kind of discuss that piece and understand that faulty leads, if you don't have the right contact information or whatever, why do they count as a lead that you're actually paying for? That Facebook ad, everyone's talking about cost per lead, and I know Facebook ads have kind of gone down the wayside, but is it really a lead if they give you faulty information? You have no way to contact them? No, they're just doing the clickbait thing and trying to get the information without having to give you the information, have the conversation with you. So as they always say, if you can have that conversation as soon as possible, obviously eliminate the faulty leads. Those aren't the ones I'm talking about, but the people that do give you their information, whether it's paid or not, or in general, we don't have to always focus on those paid lead generations, right? We can talk about about doing things in clubs and teams and PTAs and things that we're interested in to kind of drive people to our CRM, put them in our sphere of influence, and then we can kind of bounce off all kinds of contacts and top of mind strategies to stay top of mind, mixed with a direct communication, which we'll talk about exactly in building this client list that I'm going to get to next. As I looked back at all of these things and I was thinking about my business, I was like, oh, I had a client list from the very beginning. I would sit down and, brainstorm people that I thought should be on my list when I didn't have any of those real estate conversations. I didn't have anyone talking to me about real estate because I'd just gotten the business, and none of my high school kids that I taught back in the day were ready to buy a house because I just got done teaching them last week. And now all of a sudden I'm a brand new realtor trying to build a business. And so here's what I've adapted over the years. I did have just a list, but I've really dialed this down over the years, and it's really helped me. As you may know, I closed 52 transactions in 2021 as a solo agent with just a transaction coordinator. And so I was starting to think about this and dialing in how I was so successful. And when you look back at my track record, 36 of those clients were repeat client or repeat client referrals. So I get that that's really difficult to build that piece, but I understand fully how to get from, lead to client, or lead to conversation to client to close transaction to lifelong relationship. And this list is absolutely where the foundation is laid to continue that journey for all of the people that talk to you about real estate. So if you're looking for organization from a different perspective, check out this video that I did with my business partner, Louis Galt, on organizing your goals and all of that stuff, systems and processes. This is just for clients, just those people that you think will become clients or that you've had discussions with real estate or should be. And that, to me, honestly, once this list is created, I look at that and I say, that's my income. That's my next paycheck on that list. And every once in a while you get a unicorn that comes in that, is ready, pre-approved, and kind of jumps ahead of the line. But if I can stay consistent within my list and I know that this is where my income is, I start every single day with that list instead of, the next shiny object, this next shiny lead generation tactic. So what I do is every lead that comes in, I work tirelessly to get a conversation. It's a lot easier for me because I don't do paid ads. I don't do a lot of that, cold incoming stuff. But if I can get a conversation, whether it's off the YouTube channel or people comment and I can kind of take it to the email or whatever, that's what I try and do. Most of the time my leads come from people I know, people within my sphere of influence already. So I'm doing a good job there. But what I do is I break this list down by 0 to 3 months out. So if somebody who's talked to me about buying or selling real estate that I feel, or they have told me that they're 0 to 3 months out, they go on the left-hand column. Okay, the next column is 3+ months out. And you may say, well, 3 months, like what if they're 3 years out? 3+ months is the only one I have. And I think it's important to really focus on this list because this is where we lose most of our conversions, right? People get distracted, people move on, people, decide not to buy this time, they rent, and then we lose contact with them. So that 3+ months, I want to have intention with every single person that's talked to me about buying or selling real estate. I want to stay top of mind. And then the next one is people that should be buying real estate. And to be honest, this is where I started, right? Back in the day as a brand new real estate agent, just came from the education world. This was my entire list until I could start having the conversations. But people that should be buying or selling real estate, people that have babies, people that experience deaths in the family, divorce, marriage, combined households, all of those things, different life events, empty nesters, job changes, relocations, all of those people, maybe they haven't reached out, or maybe they're just talking about looking for a job in Florida or whatever. And it's those people on that list that I definitely keep in quarterly contact with. And when I'm talking about contact here, I usually start with 0 to 3 months and I hit them, 1 time a week, make sure it's direct communication. Then the second list, I usually do, every 3 to 5 weeks, depending on the relationship and where they're at. And then the next list is absolutely quarterly. And I'll go into that whole process in a future video. But as for now, that's kind of the list and that's how I organize it. And I have a visual every single day that I can use when I'm prospecting to go through these people. Remember, probably the next paycheck is on that list. And so that's super important to my business. So that's all I got for you today. We will dive into how to manage this list and organize it and utilize it in a following episode. So make sure you check that out when it comes out. If you're watching this right as a premiere, you'll have to wait just a little bit to hear how I manage this list and how it has become a cornerstone of my business. But absolutely, if you're interested in have any questions, this portion of the episode is absolutely included in the free mini course that I'm offering to real estate agents below. It's in the show notes. It's in the YouTube description. Absolutely check that out so that you can dive into this and start taking control of your business, as your business is your sphere of influence. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, please throw me a like and a comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel. You can follow the podcast anywhere that podcasts are distributed, and I'm super excited to continue this conversation and continue reaching out and helping you win every single day at the game of real estate.